A-team, game time. I'm so glad you found your way here. Isn't this historic building just a treasure? What do you guys think? We'll have a little bit more on why we're meeting here a little bit later. So I want to welcome you all to Oakland Rotary number 3. We're the 3rd oldest Rotary Club in the world. Okay, 3rd. I'm Joe Goralka, president. I'm a retired CPA CFO at East Bay Restaurants 5, but you can call me Coach Joe. Around the world, there are more than 45,000 Rotary clubs with 1.2 million Rotarians in over 200 countries. Almost any city you can name has a Rotary Club. We have both local and global impact. We gather as business and community leaders to make a difference around the world and right here in Oakland to support each other and to support each other's businesses, and obviously to have some fellowship and fun. So thank you all for being here. Now I'd like to welcome any visiting Rotarians. Do we have any visiting Rotarians in the house? Any online? No? Now I'd like to introduce any guest of Rotarians. And when you introduce your guest, would you please state your name, your business, and your business title, and then introduce your guests? Allison?
I don't think this is on. Is this on? Okay. Hi, I'm Allison Bliss. My company is Allison Bliss Consulting. I help small businesses grow. It's a marketing communications company. My guests today stand on up here, are the adorable Joshua Gaines and Sterling, I don't know your last name, Spence. They just started a wonderful nonprofit that works with youth to get them prepared for job readiness. And the company is Rooted Futures.
Welcome. David? Past President David Stein.
President Joe, fellow Rotarians and guests, I'm David Stein with the law firm of Donahue Fitzgerald, and it's my pleasure today to introduce Craig Betancourt. Craig is in public finance. Stand up, Craig. Craig and I have known each other since 1973-74 school year when he was student body president at San Leandro High and I was student body president at Skyline. And then a couple years later, we both went to D.C. He worked for Pete Stark, and I worked for a guy you may have heard of, Al Gore. Please welcome Craig Betancourt.
Welcome.
Hi, I'm Danny
Fred?
Wan. Sorry.
Oh, Danny.
Do I need to be recognized?
New member Danny Wong.
I'm a new member. I don't know the rules. I'm Danny Wan, new member, and I would like to introduce my guest, Caitlin Lavenstrong. And she's the executive director of Oakland Goes Outdoors, which is a program in the Oakland Unified to bring kids out to the openness and the wilderness and the parks. So very worthwhile program. But personally, she's also my neighbor, and we also have sent our kids to the same daycare. So yeah, I love her.
Welcome.
In a very different way.
And Fred, I'll get to you in a minute. Danny, I have to remind everybody here, this is how we're going to grow Oakland Rotary. Danny's been a member for 1 week, and he's already brought a guest. Have you brought a guest yet? Fred?
Hi, Coach Joe. I have a special guest today. I actually stole him. He's Marlene's husband, and I don't know where the hell Marlene went. Anyway, John Lynch.
Thank you very much.
Christy?
Hi everyone, Christy Johnson-Limon, Deputy Director, Economic and Workforce Development with the City of Oakland, and I'm introducing Ruth's guest today. This is Kevin Thomas. He's the Director of Sales for the Executive Inn and Suites, as well as the Best Western, 2 of our really important hospitality businesses here in Oakland that we hope you won't forget are here. Welcome, Kevin.
Welcome. Any other guests? We all good? Jason, good to see you.
Great to see you, Coach.
Yep. We have one guest online.
That is Sean Reinhardt.
Oh, Susan, please.
Okay. I'm going to introduce Sean Reinhardt. He sat by me, but he is a guest of our speaker today.
Thank you, Susan. Thank you for helping me out. Now, please welcome back Susan Smith, General Manager at East Bay Blueprint and Supply Company. They print small and large, color and black and white prints, and they sell large format plotters and Epson office copiers. Susan is going to give us our thought for the day.
Thank you, President Joe. So I heard there's going to be some Paul Harris fellows today. So I have a quote from Paul Harris, which is, "The foundation upon which Rotary is built is friendship. On no less firm a foundation could it have stood," which I thought was a really nice quote from Paul Harris. I also wanted to say, in honor of the World Series, that Yogi Berra would have said it like, "We have a good time together, even when we're not together."
Thank you, Susan. That was great. So I mentioned that I was going to talk a little bit about why we are here today. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. I added something. And so I have some very sad news to share before I talk about why we're here. Oakland Rotarian Bob Peltz passed away last night. Bob was a Rotarian for over 44 years, and he was a banker by trade, and I'm telling you, he was a great guy. We don't know when the services will be. I'll share that with you when we know, but I would like to have a moment of silence in honor of Oakland Rotarian number 3, Bob Peltz. Thank you. So,
David Stein.
David Stein.
When I was looking to join a service club when I started my own business, I applied to a different club, and the person who interviewed me was Bob Peltz. And he said, "With what you're interested in, you should join Oakland Rotary." And I did. It's been a blessing in my life. I'd like to ring the bell for Bob.
David Stein rings the bell for Bob Peltz. Dudley rings the bell for Bob Peltz. Just so you know, ringing the bell is a generous $100 donation to our Oakland Rotary Endowment, which funds our community service projects.
Coach
right
Joe,
here in
Alex
Oakland.
has his hand up, Ralph has his hat up.
Alex wants to ring the bell for Bob Peltz.
Ring the bell for Bob.
Ralph Scalar wants to ring the bell for Bob Peltz. Linda Chu rings the bell for Bob Peltz. And I can remember sitting next to Bob. He was a banker and I was an accountant, so we shared kind of a profession at times. So I want to ring the bell for Bob. Mary Rutzer. Mary Rutzer rings the bell for Bob Peltz, her sponsor to Oakland Rotary. Thank you all. So we are here today testing the field at the Henry J. Kaiser Center for the Arts because we are looking for a new stadium. Our current stadium, the ballroom, is getting a little tired and the maintenance is not quite what it used to be, but we need a deal. So I'm going to bring up past president Tom Limon. Tom is a commercial real estate broker specializing in investment sales with Newmark, and he's also chair of our Real Estate and Facilities Committee. Tom's going to let us know how the negotiations are going, and you can give him your feedback on what you think of this place.
Thank you. Thank you, Coach Joe. So I'd like to start by saying, I was approached by Shannon and Joe about identifying another space as an option, just to see what's out there. And this comes up every few years. So we put together a real estate and facilities committee. And so just if you could raise your hand or stand up, it consists of Coach Joe, Ali Medina, Pat Williams, Gary Flaxman, David Stein, Shannon Hackley, Merlin Edwards, Jillian Lowe, Pam Clausen, John Protopapis, and Jesse Bowdle. And so this committee is open. If you want to participate, we will continue to have meetings, whether we stay here or continue to stay at the California Ballroom, we could still use your input. And it's a way to get involved. So earlier as part of this committee, we looked at what other facilities are in the area. And so we made a list of over 20, came up with pros and cons, and also we set some criteria for what we were looking for. Some of the criteria we looked at most importantly was cost, location, capacity, parking, access to public transportation, on-site storage, and office space on-site or nearby. And so we went with that sort of, with that lens and viewed a lot of different facilities. And so with that, we had our test meeting at the former Holy Names campus. And then about a month later, we had it at the event center at the Cathedral of Christ of the Light at Lake Merritt. And so we had initially toured this facility, and the ballroom we toured was not this one, because this one had a performance residency. And so we toured a different ballroom, and the lighting was not great. It was kind of dark. And so at the request of David Stein, just recently, about a month and a half ago, he said, let's take another look at it. So that residency for the performance space that was in here was gone, so we toured this facility, and then we toured the Gold Room, the other ballroom, and they improved the lighting. And so what that told me was that this is a work in progress. The investor or the developer has invested 9 figures into this property. And so this place is continuing to evolve. And it's an opportunity for us to consider this as a possible new meeting location, given the issues that Joe raised. So if we choose to be here, we might not always have this ballroom. They'll make accommodations for us in another ballroom or even a smaller meeting space, but they're all very nice spaces. JP Los back here, JP, if you could raise your hand, and Kia, they'll be available after the meeting if you would like to tour these facilities and even take a peek into the theater. So I think you'll see that there's some really nice options here. So anyways, just give me some feedback. What do you think of this space? Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much. We'll be sending out a survey, and please fill out the survey. It'll be just a few questions, but we really just want your feedback on if you like this as a possible new location. Thank you.
Hey, past President Shannon. I do want to acknowledge that JP is just starting to lease oh, Isaac, I apologize.
Well, I want to ring the bell for Tom and the team that did all the work to move this forward.
Isaac rings the bell. Thank you. And I want to mention
Hold on. Eric wants to too. Hold on 1 second.
Eric.
Yeah, I want to ring the bell because I was married here about 36 years. This is my wedding reception here. So I want to ring the bell.
So I did want to acknowledge JP is just starting to fill up this space, and he has treated us with open arms to have us be, I don't know if we're one of the very first, but probably one of the newer tenants to be here on a regular basis. So I hope we get a chance to work together more, JP, and I appreciate your help in making that possibly happen. So now I have the pleasure of introducing a new member to the team, welcoming a new player and new talent to keep our bench strong and to continue making a difference here in Oakland and the world, both now and in the future. New members receive a Rotary pin and badge, a packet that includes a club directory, a copy of the Rotary 4-way test, our Rotary rule book for business and life, and a 4-way test coin and a ball cap. Our new member is sponsored by Dudley Thompson, owner and manager of Professional Fleet Graphics. Dudley, as a thank you for sponsoring a new member, I present you a 4-way test coin. Dudley, would you please introduce our newest Oakland Rotarian with 2 interesting facts?
Thank you, Coach Joe. I'd be very honored. Coach Joe, fellow team members, and our honored supporters and Rotary enthusiasts. I'm glad to be here today to introduce to you Janine Menger. Janine is retired 30 years in tech, a lot of that in pharma and development approval, the back room for all of that. She's also worked in some residential real estate development and investment. She moved to Oakland from Olympia, Washington, where she was a Rotary member, so she's moving her Rotary membership here. She's also lived in Pacifica. 2 interesting things about Janine. First of all, as you may have been to an earlier meeting, and every time she gets introduced, she'll say, I'm a golfer. Well, Janine is what you'd call a born natural. Really, she, in her development, really had visions of being on the PGA Tour. And so you'll have to ask her about this, because as some of you may know, Lenny Watkins was a team member in high school. Lenny Cohn, I'm sorry, 2 different Lennys, but I'll get this right. Ask her about playing Scott Simpson when she was 18 and beating him. If you know Scott Simpson, he won the US Open. So she also, the second interesting fact is that she has a band. She's had a band since high school, but this one, she primarily plays Beatles music, has had the band for 14 years, and has a monthly gig in Pacifica at the Chit Chat Cafe. So if you want to see her, and I think Saturday is your next gig.
Saturday, 1 o'clock.
So anyway, please welcome our newest member, Janine Menger.
Where do I stand?
Right here, Jeannie.
All right.
You get a picture? Jeannie, as we're getting our picture taken, I'm going to give you your badge and pin.
Okay.
This badge comes with 250 new friends here in Oakland and 1.2 million worldwide.
Yes, sir.
I know you're a superstar because you've already been a Rotarian. I'm so glad you're joining the Oakland Rotary number 3 team. Don't ever hesitate to say, put me in, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Put me in, Coach.
Now I'm going to call up Ruth Strupp, although I think Ruth's going to stay down there. We get Ruth a handheld mic. Ruth is a chef extraordinaire, founder of Chez Nous, a catering company. November is Rotary Foundation Month, and Ruth is our Rotary Foundation Committee Chair, so she's going to talk about the foundation and present some awards.
Terrific. Today we're going to present awards to our newest Paul Harris Fellows, and I'd like to start by introducing Gary Flaxman, who recently became a Paul Harris Fellow and who has made a long-time commitment to both our club and to Rotary, and I wanted him to say a few words. While I'm doing that, if you know you're getting a recognition pin, if you could join me here.
Thank you, Ruth. Thank you, President Joe. All right, while everybody's coming up, so I'm going to say I didn't join Rotary because I thought I needed lessons and guidance in being a better human being, but some of the most incredible humans that I've known in life are in this room and a part of this club. So if joining and contributing to the foundation brings me closer to these incredible people, then I feel really blessed. So let's see. Let's all be better whenever and wherever we can.
Thank you.
So the first award.
First award, Jesse Schmidt.
Yay, Jesse.
The second award.
That guy.
Yeah.
Tell us your name, brother.
Kenneth.
We forget all about you. Kevin?
Yep, Kevin Hunter.
Kevin Hunter. Great to see you, Kevin. Fantastic.
Kevin.
Where are you going? Don't go anywhere. We're going to take a picture.
Yeah, stay here, stay here. Jillian Lowe. Oh, I'll follow you. Odalis.
The lovely Carrie Hamill.
Carrie Hamill.
Keith Uriarty.
Keith Uriarty. Everyone get it? Susan?
So while people are scrunching for the photo, what I want to tell the club members, especially if you are new to Rotary, or if you have not made donating to Rotary International part of your regular financial practice, the Paul Harris Fellow first pin, which I invite everyone to put on, is a recognition of a commitment. For many people, it's a long time coming. It's the first $1,000 that are committed to Rotary International, either in cash or by points. We honored several of the members today with points because of their long time service and contribution to the club. If you are a newer member and you have not donated to the club before and you want to learn more about it, I invite you to call me. And our group here has 100% all been active in Rotary in more than one way. So I think about the four-way test all the time. I think about the third line, will it build goodwill and better friendships? And I can't think of a better way to do that than by supporting Rotary International and our club and each other. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Ruth, and thank you, everyone, for donating to the Rotary Foundation. I hope we as a team can, everyone, donate this year a minimum of $25 to the Rotary Foundation. Now I'd like to bring up Catherine Coleman. She's a real estate professional, and she's going to quickly give us an update on a tree planting project we had last weekend.
Our club has enjoyed a special relationship in service with the Oakland Parks for years, doing essential cleanup and planting trees. The rollout last Saturday at Ramonde Park was Oakland's presentation of a $3 million plus multi-year tree planting program. So we were really excited. We welcomed several new Rotarians, and some of them brought friends with them. There will be more opportunities for us to demonstrably impact the safety, health, and beauty of our city with trees. Quickly.
Great.
Thank you.
Catherine, don't leave. I have something special I want to give you. In recognition of your service above self efforts to support our Community Service Committee to help plan our hands-on projects for this year, and for considering doing a project at our barrier-free park, I want to award you a Rotary on the Run medal. Thank you, Catherine.
Yay, Catherine. Hey, Joe, David Stein, past president David Stein has something to say.
David?
President Joe, a couple of weeks ago I introduced Danny Wan as a new member, but I wasn't able to say part of what I really wanted to say then, so I'm going to ring the bell in Danny's honor. Danny is now of counsel with the law firm of Donahue Fitzgerald. We're delighted to have him as part of the team. He is practicing in the area of real estate, land use, and regulatory. So please welcome again Danny Wan and ring the bell for Danny. Thank you.
David Stein rings the bell for Danny Wan. Danny, we're so pleased you've joined us. Peter, I'm going to zip through.
Hold on. Don't get excited. Hold on. Alita Scola, everybody.
All right. I'd like to ring the bell for Trish Connor, who just happens to be sitting right here. In gratitude for her doing business with Galleria Scola on Grand Avenue and having some things framed. And thank you to the Business Development Committee for their commitment to developing business between and among Rotarians at Oakland 3.
Classy.
Thank you, Alita. Lorna Padilla wants to ring the bell.
Well, in the vein of promoting business with with fellow Rotarians, I'd like to ring the bell 3 times. The first bell is to announce that I have finally opened PJ's Italian Restaurant. We're located in El Sobrani on San Pablo Dam Road, next to the old thrift town. And so we're in our soft opening. Grand opening is going to be Tuesday, November 11th on Veterans Day. The second bell ringer is to honor and thank all the Rotarians who have come through so far. I really appreciate it. And third, the third bell ringer is for all the future Rotarians that will come and visit us. Thank you.
Mary Rutzard.
I'm sorry. We had a table last Wednesday night at what's now known as Padilla's Joint, PJ's. I had fabulous food. I want to ring the bell twice. Once for Marissa, Carla Betts, and once for Dan and me. Terrific, terrific evening.
Dudley? Past President Dudley Tubson?
We ate at PJ's. She allowed us in costume on Halloween night. So thank you very much. It's great. Everybody go.
Thank you, Dudley. Isaac?
I'm getting caught up in all this business development love, and so I wanted to ring the bell for Mary Rudzer and David Stein because it was a connection with their law firm that allowed me to finally sign my estate docs and make sure that I'm all in order for my family going forward. And so, ring the bell.
Thank you. So with all the bell ring, oh, Lois.
I want to ring the bell twice. One, because I'm so grateful to be a member of this club. Thank you, CJ and Mary Jong, for wanting to sponsor me. And on your tables, there's an invitation to go to the Love Life Gala on November 15th, and I want to ring the bell for that really important progress. My cousin Donald is the first person I've ever known to do restorative justice and to forgive the person who murdered his daughter.
So last weekend we had our Halloween party, and I was going to go through some slides and tell you a little bit about it, but with all the bell ringing, I've run out of time. So I'm going to bring that back next meeting, but I will tell you we had some costume prize winners. Our costume prize winners were Martha Gorelka, who was a fairy grandmother. We had John Lynch, who was an ICE agent arresting George Santos, sitting right over here. Maureen Sachs. David Stein was the Stein family tree. I had a couple honorable mentions. Greg Anus came as a Victorian vampire. We don't have a photo. Randy Arnold came as Julius Caesar. I thought it was great. Greg came as a chef. He said his special dish is Caesar salad. Cedric Titus came as Bobby Love. Marissa Edwards came as Effa, and if I had to choose, that would have been my winner. So we'll talk a bit more. I do want to make sure that we thank our sponsor, Chapel of the Chimes, and Ed Braille. I'm going to bring up Mac McFarland. Mac is with the McFarland Fitch Holding Company, and he's going to give us a quick update on an opportunity for a holiday event.
Let's keep the spirit going. This is about the holiday outing to go see the Nutcracker at the Oakland Ballet. I know you all cultured and you all know what the Nutcracker is, but allow me some liberties. Tchaikovsky's music, a brave girl, a valiant prince, and a showdown between the prince and the Rat King. Then a sparkling trip to the land of sweets, generous and gorgeous dancing, dazzling costumes, and the Paramount's Art Deco glow. Festive, family-friendly, and pure holiday joy. If that hasn't wet your whistle to come see the Nutcracker, let's talk. It's Saturday, December 20th at 1 p.m. at the Oakland Paramount Theater. The Oakland Symphony will be performing, Piedmont East Bay Children's Choir will be performing, and the choreography is by Graham Lustig. After the show, we'll keep the party going and have it's a 3-minute walk from the Paramount to Agave, uptown Oakland, and we can fellowship there and talk about what we just experienced and have a wonderful time. And so I will forewarn you now, I'm going to keep talking about this until you sign up. So shut me up. All right? Thank you.
There's a few photos on here. A group of us had the privilege of dining at PJ's, the Padilla joint. And I tell you, I would recommend the wedge salad, the shrimp fettuccine, and the tiramisu. As Rotarians, we support each other. Rotarians proudly do business with Rotarians. Lorna, thank you for all you do for this club. We're really proud and wishing nothing but success. Now I want to bring up Marina Sachs. Marina is the owner of the law firm of Marina Sachs, and Marina will introduce
Her name's Marianne. Her name is Marianne. Marianne.
Marlene. Oh, sorry.
That's what's close.
I got
That's
it
close.
Marlene is my bike buddy, and I'm saying it wrong. I apologize. Marlena Sachs Law Firm. Marlene.
All right, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Marlene Sachs. And in my spare time, I am a government watchdog and a news hound. Oakland has far too few watchdogs and far too few news outlets. In recent years, we've lost the Oakland Tribune, and while Oakland side provides some news coverage, it is often one-sided and it frequently avoids covering important issues. It is said that sunlight is the best disinfectant, and without the sunlight of transparency and publicity, Oakland has been quietly and not so quietly rotting. Into this vacuum stepped Dr. Tim Gardner, who is our guest today. Tim co-founded the Oakland Report, which offers reasoned, evidence-based analysis and critiques of the policies, actions, and inactions of our local government agencies in a newsletter that is completely free and which, if you aren't already reading, you should sign up for immediately. Tim has a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering from Princeton and a PhD in biomedical engineering from Boston University. He currently works as the Chief Informatics Officer at Cambrium, but today he is here to talk to you about the value of uncertainty in life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. So without further ado, I present to you Tim Gardner.
Marlene, thank you for that really nice introduction. I'm going to move this so I can, here.
Let me help you.
Yeah.
You got it.
Need the space. First of all, I really appreciate the invitation. It's fun to be here. I'd never been to Rotary before, and I literally felt like family the instant I walked in. Everyone's so friendly, and I feel like I know everybody. In fact, I met Caitlin here a few minutes ago, and it turns out we grew up in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and even went to the same outdoor school program in the 6th grade. I really do feel a connection. I also want to note that Sean Reinhardt, who was previously introduced as my guest, he has stood up as a volunteer and taken over leadership of Oakland Report because I have a full-time job and it's been difficult for me to manage. And he has exceeded every dream and expectation I could have ever had for that. And I really thank you, Sean, for everything you're doing. So when I mentioned I was giving this talk at Rotary to my wife, she said, "So don't you have to wear like pointy hats or beanies or something?" And I'm like, no, that's the Elks Club. But I'm glad I haven't had to put a hat on so far. A few weeks ago, David Stein reminded me I was giving this talk, and I agreed at Marlene's invitation months and months ago. And my first thought was, oh crap, what did I agree to? I got to write a speech. So what the heck does someone talk about at Rotary? And how do I sneak in a bit of science? And how do I make it politically interesting without being political? And so the outcome is a kind of a strange brew of Oakland, tribalism, and Schrodinger's equation. And I'll attempt to persuade you that uncertainty is a superpower. that it's actually the key to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So I'm not sure it's going to work, but there's only one way to find out. Let me start with a quote from James Gleick. He is a historian of 20th century science, and he was describing in his book Richard Feynman, one of the most brilliant physicists of all time. And here's the quote. Feynman believed in the primacy of doubt, not as a blemish upon our ability to know, but as the essence of knowing. The alternative to uncertainty is authority, against which science has fought for centuries. So if you knew me before today, it was because of Oakland Report, and it's a civic news and commentary site that I co-founded in 2023 with my neighbor, Jacob Rukin. Jacob's a teacher at Oakland High. We launched it in 2023 in response to what was an alarming decay in city services and lawfulness. And just a few of the triggers for that were a baby getting shot on our street, fortunately non-fatally, a 65-year-old woman getting mugged at her home by a gang of teenagers, and the ever-present overflowing trash, graffiti, encampments, drugs, and prostitution. But it wasn't just crime and blight that was so disturbing. It was a city leadership at the time that was dismissive, bordering on gaslighting of the residents' concerns. It was as if the decline was just a state of our mind, not a daily reality. Their words aimed to manage citizens more than represent them. And their acts seem extractive of the middle class and the businesses that form the city's backbone. And one of the most egregious examples still on the books, and it drives me insane, is the graffiti ordinance, Ordinance 131456. It fines businesses if they don't immediately remove the graffiti that vandalized their business. It fines them. It is literally a city fining the victims of crime for the crime that was perpetrated on them. It's just so ghastly, I can't even get my head around it. And it's still in the books. Another example, there's presently a $350 million surplus in the pension tax account that funds the 1976 police and fire retirement system. Only $70 million of payments are left after 50 years to pay it off. And yet the city is still collecting $80 to $100 million this year in taxes from all of you to add to this $350 million surplus. That money can only be used to pay police and fire retirement system. It's locked in a purgatory because it's not needed there. And then there's the 15% deficit spending, despite years of stark warnings from the city's own finance department, and the rating of ballot measures voted in by citizens as restricted funds to pay for that. Can you hand me the water? Sorry. No problem. Thank you. The city didn't rectify these problems with spending reforms. Instead, it levied a regressive sales tax in April, and it's going to try for another $40 million in June. That's not responsible governance. But believe it or not, it wasn't the problems in City Hall that drove us originally to form Oakland Report. It was seeded by a series of articles in 2022 by a popular local media organization. Those articles promoted misinformation and hearsay about school closures in an ideologically biased series of articles. The articles helped get a new slate of board members elected in 2022 who immediately reversed the previous decision by the superintendent to close the 11 financially unsustainable schools. The board had no realistic alternative, and it accelerated the district down the present path to insolvency that you hear about today. This was not an accident. It didn't catch anybody by surprise. Who pays the price for that? Obviously, it's the kids. Oakland students are almost a full grade behind in testing compared to their California peers, and 2.5 years behind the national average. So this episode left me fuming, as much about the state of our media as about the dysfunction of governance. Today's media feeds us superficial extremes, the dramatic, the vapid, the ideological. It arrogantly assumes that readers have not the ability, the interest, or the patience to go deeper than that. And so we started Oakland Report as an experiment. Could we rekindle a reverence for the search for truth? We wanted citizens to demand evidence, to ask, how do you know that? Can you verify it? And could we bring a dose of the scientific method to civic journalism? See, in science, judgment is expected, but so too is a dispassionate exposition of the evidence that led you to that conclusion. And could we make such an approach compelling to the reader? Deep analysis can't just be left to policy wonks. It's foundational to a healthy democracy. So our approach was simple. Deliver stories about the basic needs of life and ground them in primary evidence, rigorous analysis, and a pointed but dispassionate voice. To sum it up, give readers the data to critically evaluate issues for themselves. Don't force our perspective down their throat. Let them decide. And to our surprise, the initial experiment has been a success. With only part-time volunteers, our readership has grown to nearly 50,000. But this insistence on evidence is really hard to live by. It requires a healthy doubt, even of oneself. And in 1620, Francis Bacon, the scientist who articulated the scientific method, he warned, and I quote, "God forbid that we should give out a dream of our own imagination for a pattern of the world." So, Old English, let me translate with a little help from ChatGPT. May God forbid us from mistaking our speculative ideas for truth itself. At Oakland Report, we research our stories by challenging our own thesis. We question the outrage that motivated us to write it in the first place. When you frame your thinking with doubt, you open yourself to the unknown, and sometimes you discover the truth. But the truth is elusive, and you can never know it completely. And so here's where I step briefly into science, and I promise not to make your eyes glaze over. January 2026 marks the 100th anniversary of Erwin Schrödinger's equation. This is one of the most profound discoveries of humankind, and I would bet most of you have not heard of it before. It describes the motion of electrons in atoms and molecules. It's the foundation of modern physics, it's the foundation of modern chemistry, and it's probably more important to society than Einstein's E equals mc squared. So what are electrons? Electrons determine nearly everything about the materials we touch. It's why steel is strong. It's why rubber stretches. It's why your clothes have the color they have, and believe it or not, it's literally what allows you to breathe. And this one equation can predict all of that. But there is a problem. Nobody can solve it exactly, except for the most simple cases. And let me give you an example of just how simple I mean. We all barbecue with propane. Propane is a molecule that is composed of just 11 atoms. It's the largest molecule for which science has ever solved that equation. That 11 atom molecule has 11 trillion configurations, each of which needs to be calculated. The second simplest amino acid in your body, amino acids are the components of proteins, the second simplest one would require more calculations than there are atoms on Earth to solve this equation. So here's the crazy thing. We know this law of nature exactly. It is precisely correct. And we still can't know its deepest secrets, its deepest truths. But here's the thing. Science never demanded certainty. It only demands the will to get closer to the truth. And so over these 100 years, scientists have devised clever ways to get good enough answers. They use approximations to the equation. And these are good enough to build the myriad of technologies that enable our modern lives, including this light, this speaker, the phones you use. All of those are through approximations to that equation. And Schrödinger's equation is kind of a mirror of nature itself. It's an infinite well of answers about the material world. And it only reveals its bounty to those who are patient enough to probe it again and again, knowing that they'll never reach the bottom. So back to Oakland and to us. So what troubles me the most about our civic life today is a seeming disregard for evidence and reason. It feels like we've replaced the search for truth with ideology, with critical thought, with slogans, and good personal judgment with memes. We let the games of capital P politics take precedent over the difficult, relentless work of lowercase p politics. That kind of politics is the work of understanding. And when you forgo understanding, corruption follows because there's no objective check on hubris. And from hubris, we slide to tribalism, where loyalty to the tribe and to its loudest leaders outweighs everything else. And from tribalism, it's only a short skip away to authoritarianism, where winning supersedes life, liberty, and lawfulness. And we can get to this miserable place from the right or the left. The only antidote to this is doubt. Doubt demands evidence before belief, even of oneself. Doubt demands the patience to seek an ever-approving approximation of the truth. And doubt is what protects us from the abuses of authority. So, to conclude it, a few thoughts about what that means. Because doubt may sound like something to be feared. It sounds like wandering aimlessly through uncertainty, mistrusting everyone and everything and everybody, even yourself. It sounds scary, but it's actually the opposite. Doubt is the thing that makes life rich because it invites wonder, it invites curiosity, it invites growth. And I think no one said it better than Richard Feynman himself in his final moments as he died of cancer. He said, "I think it's much more interesting to live not knowing than to have answers which might be wrong. I'm not absolutely sure of anything. I don't feel frightened by not knowing things, by being lost in a mysterious universe without any purpose, which is the way it really is, as far as I can tell." The joy of life, and perhaps our salvation as a species, is to unflinchingly seek the truth wherever it may lead us. Thank you.
Tim, I should tell you, Rotary lives by something called the four-way test. And the very first of the four questions we ask is it the truth? So that elusive truth is something that we quandar with ourselves. Do we have any questions out there?
We sure
for
do,
Tim?
buddy. We're going straight to CJ.
Tim, thank you for what you do. Huge fan of your publication. You're making a real difference. My question is, and I know this is a tough one, but if you could wave a magic wand and change one thing in the Oakland city government, what would you do?
It's actually pretty easy. Commitment to service.
Hi, thanks. Yeah, I was actually one of the votes on the board for the school closures a couple years ago, so I've definitely appreciated your remarks about the Oakland schools. At the same time, I think, you know, when you have a journalistic, when you have a newspaper or whatever they're called these days, because none of them are actually papers, they're just online. But there's also a need to show balance and look at the positive as well as all the negative. So I know in the schools, you know, there's been huge increases in our graduation rates over the past 10 years. In the city of Oakland, we've seen over 20% reduction in homicides for 2 years in a row, thanks to Oakland ceasefire. So I just wonder, are there any other examples of positives that you see in our school system or in our local city government?
Certainly, the positives emerging all the time against structural problems that serve as barriers to that. There's a constant flow of energy trying to break those down and succeed anyway, and yet we kind of choke it off with bad governance at the top. So I don't pay super close attention to the schools. I know the last connection I had was with the coach of the Oakland High basketball team that won state champions. The women's basketball team won state championships. She took a bunch of girls who barely played basketball and turned them into a state championship team, and that's super exciting. There's probably a list of things a mile long of what's good. The fundamental issue is that I think folks struggle with the human desire to be empathetic towards truly difficult decisions, the people on the, quote, losing side of difficult decisions, and the reality that you sometimes have to make difficult decisions to make the whole thing better. It's like my teenager, right? We got into it when he was a sophomore in high school because the only thing I made them do in their whole life, I think, was take Mandarin. And he hated that class so much that he decided to take it out on me in revenge, do badly one semester in all of his classes to prove how stupid I was. So I don't think I've ever gotten more angry in my entire life. But then I took him out after losing my SHIT. I took him out for a hike and an overnight in the peninsula, and we just talked and hung out, and yeah, it got pretty ugly for a minute, hard, and he didn't get out of Mandarin either. But you have to do hard things sometimes, but he's doing awesome. He's doing great, exceeded my expectations, right? And sometimes you just have to make hard decisions. Funding twice as many schools as we can afford isn't going to help the students. You're going to take the money away from them to keep them open, and that's not good for them. So it's that I'm getting at. Not questioning whether people put their heart and soul into making the OUSD system good.
Thank you, Tim. I think there are more questions. Would it be possible for you to stay after and people could visit with you? Sure. Tim, I'd like to thank you for your presentation today. I want you to know that we've made a donation to Polio Plus, so know that because of your speech and presentation today, you're helping eradicate polio from the Rotary from the world. It's Rotary's signature project. Over the last 3 decades, we've reduced reported polio cases 99.9%. Polio remains in 2 war-torn countries, Afghanistan and Pakistan. We will eradicate polio because we are this close. And I also want to give you a Paul Harris Fellow Rotary 4-way test coin, and you'll notice the first question is it the truth? Thank you, Tim. I can't know. Yeah, I have to have some doubt. Thank you, Tim. Now's when we normally ring the bell. We've had lots of bell ringers.
Oh, Jesse.
Jesse, do you have something special happening in your life?
I sure do, President Joe. Thank you. There have been so many bell ringers today, and I'd just like to say first that I do, have this list here, and if you rang the bell, you can find me after the meeting, and I can help you pay for that bell ring. But more importantly, I'd like to announce something very special in my life, which is that the most special person in my life has Jason. The other most important person in my life has agreed to marry me. I popped the question. And thank you. Thank you. So I just wanted to announce that. Thank you.
I'm going to ring the bell for Jessie Schmidt.
It's her win.
Congratulations.
It's her win.
I'd also like to ring the bell.
Hi, Gail. Hold on. Hold on.
Go ahead, Gail.
Oh, thanks. Well, I could not be more happy for Jessie. During COVID, we talked, I think it was every night for a year. There were 4 of us, Alex, Jessie, Teresa, and myself. And I remember the day that you told us about Jayshree, that you had met her. And I am so thrilled and very pleased to ring the bell.
Oh, that's lovely.
Hold on, we got another one. Ralph, you got the mic?
I have the mic. Mike is coming over here.
He was stunned by the beauty of this place. I am ringing the bell for Isaac Koss-Reed and Odalis. Is she still here?
She's here. She's right here.
I just want to thank you both for your commitment and investment into Oakland's public schools, your sponsorship and support via the billboards. And Odalis, I met her at the gala, and then I called and said, would you like to sponsor the Oakland Grown Festival that we're putting on for 200 student performers that came on the 25th, and she came in the rain, so thank you. And Isaac presented us with a joint opportunity with the Berkeley Ed Fund, whose name I'm forgetting. It has a different name, but school, yeah.
We'll read about it in the paper.
Yeah. And then I also just want to say, give a shout out to the dedicated staff, students, school board members of Oakland Unified School District who have seen a 15% graduation rate increase since I started working in the district, with the district in 2012.
Ollie Medina rings the bell for Isaac. Tricia.
Oh, here I come.
Hi, Tricia Connors. I would like to ring the bell for Tim Gardner. I look forward to your news every week, and thank you for your impartial reporting.
Tricia rings the bell for Tim Gardner.
Hey, Joe. Joe.
Marlene Sachs.
Marlene, okay.
Owner of Marlene Sachs Law Firm and my bike partner. Marlene, what would you like to do? Marlene Sachs rings the bell for Tim Gardner. If we could get the mic to Ruth. Ruth, who do we have coming up as our speaker next week?
We have an exciting speaker from the Rotary, Shirley J. She's going to talk about the Rotary Foundation. She's such a dynamic person. You know, we have this much time in the meetings to really learn about how Rotary works. Imagine 20 minutes to get more educated on Rotary. That's what we're going to be doing.
Thank you, Ruth. I want to thank
Joe, important announcement.
Go ahead, Ralph.
So if you would like to have a little bit of a tour of this facility, Kia will be showing us around after the meeting. And I got to tell you, you want to see the theater for sure. So if you can go hang out with Kia after this meeting, do that. Okay.
Thank you, Ralph. So I want to thank everybody that arranged for us to meet here today. A lot of effort was made to make this happen. When you move and change locations, it takes a team to make it happen. So thank you. And I want to leave you with this. Through Rotary, world peace will come someday, and we will end polio too. Look out, Oakland Rotary is on the run. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you for being here.